Hey guys, we were supposed to go fly today, get some footage for a new video, but we ran into some problems. Here, Yoli, why don't you take this one?
Thanks, Aaron. According to my forecast, it's raining. Now back to you.
Hey, that was cold. Alright guys, so we were supposed to fly this blunt nose versa wing today. Sadly, because of the weather, we couldn't. So a big problem I ran into when building this yesterday was I didn't have the recommended motor mount. So Aran suggested that we use a design that he incorporated into one of his planes a few episodes ago, and it actually worked out really well. So the purpose of this video is to show you how to make this and why it's so successful and sturdy.
So here's what you're gonna need. Handful of popsicle sticks. Well, you're plain, but we're gonna use a foam board just to show you how to make it. X-Acto knife, ruler, hot glue gun, and some tape.
Motor,
Well, your motor, obviously.
some bolts, and plier.
Okay, and by the way, you're gonna wanna pick popsicle sticks that are relatively straight because, as you can see here, this one's sort of warped. And when you're building your firewall, you don't want that to stick out. Alright, so the first step is to make the firewall. Depending on the size of your motor and the size of your popsicle sticks, you're just going to need to figure this out. So for us, 3 popsicle sticks was wide enough for the motor mount to fit on it.
2208 motor, 3 popsicle sticks. You could just place the motor on the popsicle sticks and see how many you're going to need. You're only going to need about 3, but in some cases you're going to need 4. So however many you took, you're going to have to take that and double that because we're going to cross grain them to gain more sturdiness.
So you're going to want to grab yourself a piece of tape and align these popsicle sticks together. And to save yourself a lot of time, you just want to stick them together. This just makes gluing them together later on a lot easier. So the next step is to get it and just apply hot glue into the crevice. Now you want to just brush it away with a scrap piece of foam. Make sure you do this to all the crevices in both of them. So now that you have both of your pieces glued, you could just go ahead and take the tape off. And now we're going to glue them together.
When you place it on, you have to try to get it as perpendicular as you possibly can. You're just going to apply some glue. Just place it down and press down firmly.
Next step is you just want to cut off the excess off of the edges, and you can do that by just using a sharp razor blade or a box cutter, and we're just going to go ahead and do that right now.
Just have to go over it a few times, you'll be able to snap it off. You can sand it later to make it more smooth if you want.
And just make sure you do that to all the other sides.
Alright, this is what you should have at this point. You can see it's being cross-grained. Gives it a lot of strength. So the next step is you're going to unscrew your motor mount from your motor, or if you haven't put it on, yeah, it's fine. You're just going to trace out each circle. Okay, make sure you have lead. Roughly trace out each circle. As long as you have just a rough area of where it has to be, you're fine.
Alright, so the next thing you want to do is you want to get a drill and a drill bit that's the right size for the holes in your motor mount. Now you want to find somewhere you can drill over and drill into the holes that you previously traced.
Be careful when doing this.
Now you just want to do that for all 4 holes. Alright, so now you're just going to want to mount this back onto your motor. And you want to screw your motor mount into your firewall. Alright, so normally this would be the front or back of your plane, but in this situation we're just going to use foam. And first you're going to want to find and mark out with a pencil. You're going to want to find and mark the center of your plane and just mark it there so you can just put on quickly when hot glue is drying. So I'm just gonna find that here, just like make these 2 quick marks. Just gonna exaggerate them a little bit. Alright, so find the center of this. You're just gonna wanna, so depending on your plane, you're gonna wanna either apply a little bit up or a little bit down, but we're just gonna try to get it perpendicular here. Let's get some hot glue. Wanna apply it to the edge. Now make sure your wires are on the right side, and just try to get that as centered as possible. Oh, that's awkward. I kind of missed. Alright, so this wasn't really a real plane, so if you're making a real plane, you better not miss.
Alright, so the next step is you're going to take some popsicle sticks, you're going to cut out the legs. And depending on the size of your plane, you're going to cut accordingly. But for our purposes, we're going to use about 2 inches. It doesn't have to be that exact, as long as each one is the same size. So around there, once you make those marks, you could just go over them a few times. Then snap it by you push it towards you. So once you've cut out one, you can just use it to mark the other ones. So just take a pencil or blade, whichever one, and just cut them all out. And that's what you're gonna do for the other 3. Alright, so once you've cut them all out, you're gonna take some glue and you're gonna apply 1 bead of glue on this side and 1 bead of glue on the flat side. So 1 here and 1 on the flat edge. You're gonna take the one that you made, the bead of glue that you made on the edge, and stick it right on top. Just place it downwards. And when you're doing this, make sure that you're not slanting the motor mount. Make sure that it's still perpendicular to the foam. Just wait a couple seconds.
Alright, this is what your final product is going to look like. It's very strong. I've used it on multiple planes. I've used it on my own VersaWing, my Maker hanger, my Maker trainer too, and it hasn't even failed me once actually, and I've crashed them a lot of times. So this is what it should look like on the actual VersaWing.
This is without the motor, but just place it right back on, and it's very sturdy. You have the ESCs connected through here. It just has a clean look to it. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you next time.